What's going on, people? Welcome back to the opposition preview. Yes, we have another game. This time it's against Tottenham on Sunday. And look who I'm joined by, DejiSpurs. The link will be in the description down below. As you may have noticed, on a lot of streams with him, especially on the 12-man podcast. Have a lot of respect for Spurs, have a lot of respect for Deji. So we're going to be hearing from his wise words about what is potentially going wrong at Palace and also an insight into Tottenham. Make sure to get involved by leaving down your comments in the comment section down below, as well as dropping a like and subscribing if you are new to the channel. Deji, I'll be honest.
Yes,
talking about dusty. I can be the first one to admit. Crystal Palace have been dusty as you could potentially get. It is absolutely worrying over here. 8 games without a win. The latest one against Forest. Didn't create many chances. Then Nketiah, funny enough, was the player in the whole of the Premier League weekend. You created the most chances, 5 created chances.
Yeah.
And another defeat. Normally we start with Spurs, but what's your thoughts on Palace so far this season?
Yeah, bro, it's a weird one. Normally, obviously, man's got enough respect for you, so the cooking will be slightly mild. You get me? I like my curry to be hot, but I'm gonna give you a little madras today. Do you get what I'm saying? Let me be real, because I got another bedroom of mine, Alan, who's a Palace fan, and the issue is you built something strong. When you had Eze, Elise, Mateta, Elise just brought a dynamic. When you lost Zaha, we thought, boy, are you ever gonna be able to replace him? But then you had 2 Zahas in Eze and Elise. And when Elise and Eze came back from injury, my bedroom he said, look, Dej, we'll slap up bare teams. And you did. You went on that crazy run and you were slapping up Liverpool, you were slapping up Villa, you were slapping up the big 6. Do you get what I'm saying? You would have slapped up City in that moment of time if you had a chance to play them. But bro, this is the classic case of you got rid of top quality and you brought in Budgie Banton. You sold Elise, which he had to go. I mean, the money that they offered and Bayern Munich, when you're coming from Palace, you have to go. So it's no disrespect to you and it's no disrespect to the player. But you sold Elise and brought in Nketiah. Now, I'm not being funny. Nketiah didn't do nothing for Arsenal, and he weren't going to do nothing for your club, because what you need is you need a Mark Gee. You need players that are legit, and then they move on. What you can't do is with players that aren't legit. You would have been better off bringing a Smith Rowe. You would have been better off bringing a Reece Nelson. Them man, maybe not good enough for Arsenal, but definitely good enough to do something in your first 11. But you're bringing in Nketiah, who I'm not sure would do anything at Bournemouth. I don't know if he gets in the starting 11 for Bournemouth. Mateta's gone off form. Eze's on his ones. Edouard weren't really that guy, because this ain't Scotland and this ain't Celtic. Do you get me? Had Edouard been banging in goals for Motherwell, yeah, maybe he would have been legit. But this brother is I can bang goals for Celtic. Me. Put me up top, I'll bang goals for Celtic. And then you sold Anderson, and he was another linchpin. Him and the partnership he had with Guy. You almost lost Guy. So, bro, the truth is you just not replaced the quality that you shipped out. Now, the truth is Glasner has not changed. The manager's the same, but the quality of man is different. And I can't lie to you, bro. I talk about how dusty West Ham is. And West Ham being one of the dustiest teams I've ever seen in my life. You, man, are moving pretty dusty, man. It's pretty Sahara Desert settings right now. It's sandy. Man's lips is getting dry. I've got, my throat is dry, feeling parched because of how dusty you, man, are moving. I'm concerned for Palace, bro.
Yeah. Do you think Oliver Glasner could be potentially getting the sack then? Do you think that could be the case going forward? Do you think that would be the right move? Because there's a lot of calls.
You would be stupid to get rid of him. We've seen what he can do. At Frankfurt, he got them brothers the Europa League. yeah? And towards the end of last season, he had you guys moving mad. What's happened is you've just not given him the tools. Bro, I don't give a damn if you're Pep. That's why sometimes I argue, and you're going to hear me in the controversy, and I'm going to see it in the comments later. Is Pep that good?
I think he is. He's that good.
Now, so I'm going to ask you this question. With your squad, can Pep do something with that squad?
Okay, all right. Yeah, I do understand that point. I do understand that point. But then how many managers can do what Pep does with that squad?
I know, but what I'm trying to show you, bro, is that you sometimes you just have to understand where you're at. There is no manager that can do anything with that team. None. No manager. That team is rubbish. Do you know what I'm saying? That team right now is championship, mid-championship. You man are moving with the Watfords, you know, of this world. That's the level that you man are operating. So for me, it's like when you know your level, then you calm your expectation. Getting rid of Glasner is not solving the problem. You got dead wood, bare them. Too many dead wood. I'm not sure Leeds would take half of your players. As they may be, Guy, that's about it. The rest is washed, bro. So for me, you get rid of Glasner, you're just going around in circles. I think you just have to accept your fate. You man are done out here for this season. And what we're all going to do, D, is wait for you, man, to come back.
Also, if you're Palace getting relegated.
Yeah, I think you are, man. You can see the signs, bro. You man haven't won a game in 8. So already you man are moving like that is relegation fodder. But let's take a closer look at it, bro. You got slapped by Nottingham Forest yesterday. Yeah? You got slapped up. Yeah. I just want to quickly look at the table.
We're 18th right now, anyways. We're 18th right now.
You've drawn 3, lost 5.
I think we could. I mean, we're very soon to entering a relegation battle. I think when
bro. I think this is what I'm trying to tell you, D. The sooner you man understand what you're dealing with, then you're able to pivot and understand. You're doing this. It's only 8 games in. Soon it will be we're only 15 games in. Soon it's 21 games, and then you're gonna start shaking your bum and panicking when we're at 27 games. No, understand where you're at now. Everton, Ipswich are relegation fodder. Right now, can you beat Ipswich?
I don't know. Not with this
I'm
system.
not sure
that's the thing. I think we can if we do change it up. No, now you just speak about Nketiah and you made some valid points about Nketiah. But I think the problem is bigger than Nketiah. It's that right-hand side where you just don't have a creative number 10. And Elisa was that creative number 10. Down the left, you have Eze, and he's not been performing well. And the right-hand side, you're playing 3 at the back, so you're relying on your wing-back to create something out wide. However, the wing-back doesn't have any option down the right-hand side, even yesterday against Nottingham Forest. Yeah. There was no one there for Munoz to pass the ball to. So I think the problem is bigger than Nketiah. However, you can solve this problem by going 4 at the back, because there's less reliance on the wing backs. You can put the likes of Eze as more of like a number 10, put Mateta up front, maybe, or you could change it up. You could put.
But when you went on your run, did you have 3 at the back?
What was that?
When you went on your run of games towards the end of last season,
yeah, we did. But the difference was last year to this year. One, even yesterday, Adam Wharton didn't play, so there's that. When you're having that 2-man midfield. Hughes was good yesterday, but we're playing Hughes and Lerma, so there is a much creativity through the middle. Yeah. And 2, we had the likes of Elise, which you cannot replace Elise in terms of his quality. I don't think so, because I think he's going to the very top. Palace just cannot do that. We can't attract that. However, what we could have done potentially is sign another number 10 who's got a flair, who's got the pace, who's got the creativity to cut in from the right-hand side to the left, which gives the likes of Munoz more options down the right-hand side, whether he can run down the line, whether he's got an option to pass it in. Right now, we just don't have that width.
Yeah.
Because there isn't any player there. So I think he needs to change the system. The likes of Ismail Sarr is there, who is a winger, who we did bring in. Go forward at the back, have wide options.
Yeah.
And from there, I don't think we'll be as bad as we have been. Look,
you know what's the
results wise, it's been terrible. It has been terrible. And yes, and the Forest performance was terrible as well, in my opinion. But before the Forest game, I don't think the performances have been that bad. The results have been, but the performances haven't suggested that we've got no hope. But yesterday was like a wake-up call to maybe, all right, look, we lost another game. We have to change the system.
That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying to you, it can't be Glasner, bro. Because I agree, even the Liverpool game, you could have easily got a result in that one. What I'm saying to you, bro, is that you're asking your manager to produce miracles. And when he's not able to produce a miracle, you're saying he should get sacked. Or at least people are saying he should be sacked. And I'm saying, no, let's understand where we're at right now. We don't have the players capable to play this system. And I think there's this thing. I think there's this kind of, I don't want to say it's nonsense. Yes, I think there's an argument that you got to tailor your team to the players that you have.
Yeah.
But you got to understand that these managers have built their careers off systems. And I'm making comparisons to Postecoglou. He does the same thing because he knows no other way. So it's either you like it or lump it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to make it work. You had the players last year to make it work. And my argument is that the club did not bring in the players. You brought in, and Nketiah is just not that guy. No disrespect to him.
Well, you needed this. Bad, Deji. It's funny if you scored against.
I know, but really and truly, what you need was a number 10. The number 10 that you could have got is Smith Rowe.
Yeah, I agree. I was saying that at the time ago. But a lot of people were fixated on his injury concern, saying, "Oh, it's not worth."
That. I don't know why.
It's worth. It's a gamble, but it's a gamble worth taking. Because
I would have gambled on Neto. People were telling me about Neto's injury. And I said, you know what? I still take Neto for 10, 15 games of the season than not to have him. Do you get me? Sometimes you just got to be strategic. You think Fulham didn't know? Look how Fulham is where you lot should be. You should be like them. They are tough to beat, whether you like it or not. I don't think anyone looks forward to playing Fulham, even if you're expected to win. But Palace, you had that. But now it's gone. And I think for me, even though you haven't played bad and you've got 3 draws and 5 defeats, bro. Like, for me, it's great to huff and puff, but I can't. That's why I asked you the question and you couldn't answer it. And that's the worrying thing. Can you beat Ipswich? Can you, man, beat Southampton?
Not in this system.
Can you beat them?
Not in this formation, but we can. I do think we can, but not in this formation. And Deji, the reason why there are questions over Glasner and his future at the football club is because if he keeps the same system, and we're talking about the system not having the players, it's not going to work, is it? You're not going to, I mean, you might win one odd game, but it's not going to be sustainable. So the manager needs to adapt to the situation and
let me tell you what it is. What you're saying makes logical sense to us as fans. But you got to understand that the managers nowadays, this ain't like back in the day when we had Sam Allardyce, Harry Redknapp, where it was literally play the players in their best position and basically let them do a free-for-all. Because that's what it was. When he had Modric and he had Gareth Bale, there was no tactics. There was just, all right, this is how it's 4-4-2. You, man, go out there, do your thing. Sunday League stuff. Areola, Glasner, Slot, Postecoglou, the Prem, the Brighton manager is full of managers that have a system. Yeah? So these managers now, you can't flip-flap. Because when you flip-flap, it means that is the criticism that everyone is putting on Eric Ten Hag for Manchester Piccadilly. We don't know what our style of play is. Because my man is trying to adapt. You don't want to be like them, bro. Them man are lost out in sea. Do you get me? They're on a life raft and they don't know where north, south, east, or west is. Do you get me? They're just looking around. So you need a manager that at least you have an identity. We know how you want to play. The issue now is to bring in what you're hoping for and what you need is somehow he gets a run of games, which he gets a run of wins to buy him time. But if I think he's a quality manager. I think he's a quality manager, man.
He is.
That Frankfurt team, the way he had them brothers sourcing, they were gangsterous. They were quality.
He is.
And yeah, go on, bro.
He signed Kamada, and that was his signing. This is a player that played in a Frankfurt team that won the Europa League, and he's not performing anywhere near the levels he should be. Anywhere near the levels that he should be. Yeah. Look, this system and the formation not working. I want Glasner to be successful, and I still think he can be successful at Palace. And thank God he did mention it in his press conference after the game that maybe we do have to change the formation. Maybe we do have to start Mateta because a change is needed. You can't keep doing the same thing, getting the same results and expecting it to change. You have to change yourself. And that's the worrying thing about me.
The thing is, sometimes you got to appreciate that in football, sometimes you're forced into making changes. So when you're in your first, because he's still in his first season, bro. He's not had a full season at your club.
Yeah,
you get me. People are forgetting that he came in partway through last season, towards the end, to be honest, because he only played the last few games. The last 10 games or so.
Yes,
So you got. So he's not had a season yet, and he stumbled across the three musketeers in Eze, Elise, and Mateta, and that worked. It worked so well that I was calling out Postecoglou to take all three of them brothers to Spurs. I think if we had Eze, Mateta up top, and Elise, would be top of the league. I swear down. With the way Tottenham play, we'd be smashing up everyone. But you took out one of the cogs in Elise, and it just isn't quite the same because, like you said, you don't have the right-hand side balance to feed the brother. And then you brought in Nketiah, who isn't really that guy. So, bro, there's a whole heaps of mistakes that Crystal Palace have made. I hope them brothers sort it out. But at the same time, you're so disjointed. You're so disjointed. The fact that your manager is having to now do a Conte and review his system. By the time you guys even settle into whatever he reverts to, I think it's going to be too late, bro. I think you, man, are odds-on favourites to be going down with Southampton and the other team.
Let's talk about your team. Last game against West Ham, a very good result. You could have even had more. But then the game before that against Brighton, it was the total opposite of great first half, second half. You lost it. Spurs this season, it's been weird, Deji, because at times we spoke about Postecoglou, is he under pressure? And then there's been runs as well where you look at the Tottenham side and they're all clicking. What have you made of your start to the season?
Yeah, bro, our start to the season after the last game was 7th, I think. It's been slightly lower than expected, slightly underwhelming. To lose 3 games in 8 is still poor for me. I think 2 maximum at this stage, definitely not 3. But then we got to put things into context, bro. Tottenham and Liverpool played the best football in the league, and I'm delighted to be having this stream with you because at least you've got some common sense and you haven't been smoking Budgie Banton. Spurs are definitely one of the best teams footballing wise this season so far. We were unlucky against Leicester. We should have won. We were unlucky against Newcastle. Should have won. We were unlucky against Arsenal. Should have been a draw. And I would say the only game where we actually deserved to lose or drop points was the Brighton game. Everyone else deserved to get slapped up by my club. Now, the issue with Postecoglou has never been the football. I love the football. I never want to go back to Mourinho and Conte. That football was some of the dustiest football I've ever seen in my life. And I know that one day, man's going to have to meet them and shake their hand. And they're going to be like, ain't you the one that said my football was dusty? And I'm going to have to own up to it and say, yes, it is dusty. You get me? But the issue with Postecoglou has been that his game management. And the reason why I flipped out in the Brighton game, it was all clear to see. Sometimes, bro, we lost control. The first game that I legitimately, that's why I said we lost that game. We legitimately lost control of that game. I don't know why. I don't know how it happened, but we lost control. So that's why I said we deserve to lose to Brighton. But equally, our manager didn't do nothing. You can see that these brothers are drowning. The man's waving his hand in the water. Help, help, help. I can't breathe. And he just watched them as they started to sink to the bottom of the ocean. What I saw, though, because Tottenham fans, a lot of them criticize Postecoglou, say he's not adapting. But he is. Kulusevski this time last season was on the right. This season, he's a number 8. That's a change, whether you like it or not. Even in the Brighton game in the first half, no one talks about this. Brendan Johnson wasn't out wide. Brendan Johnson and Porro had swapped. Brendan was doing the inverted thing. Porro went wide, partly because he knew that Brendan Johnson ain't about that life when it comes to physical defenses. He's not on it. We know him for that. That's cool. So he's adapting. But what really pleased me in the West Ham game was he saw that Madders was thinking out the place. Let's just keep it real. He stunk out the place. And he hooked him up at half time. Now, during the game, people were saying, maybe he got a knock. Maybe he got an injury. And I'm like, I'm not sure he got a knock or injury. It looked bad to me. I think he was dusty in that first half. And he came out at the end of the game to say it was a tactical switch.
Yeah, to take off Maddison, that's a massive call. And he's done that a few times, no, this season when I watched you.
When you talk about squad and you talk about having a squad and everyone's involved, if your best player or one of your best players is having a stinker, get him off. Bentancur had a stinker against Brighton. Bissouma comes back into the team, has a great game. Bissouma starts next game. If Bissouma has a stinker, Bentancur comes back. That's how you keep players on their toes. You don't keep them on their toes by having stinkers, and by fire, by thunder, they keep playing. That don't make no sense. So Postecoglou, for me, in doing that change, it's a positive. Now, you've heard me say this, D, and I want to qualify this on your show because a lot of people get me wrong. A bit like Glasner, and I think the Palace fans will, everyone locked on, make sure you lot smash a like. And I know that, I love your club and you lot will understand what I'm saying about my club. Unfortunately for Postecoglou, I feel he's lost too many games already. So what I've done now is sometimes you've got to set challenges. I'm not like Dan or Lawless who have no standards. I mean, these man and Gooner Lee, these man shake their bum in the wrong direction. I don't know what for. Have some standards for your club. So when Tottenham lost to Arsenal, I said to buy time, Postecoglou needed to win the next 3 games, which he did, which was Cov, Brentford, and Manchester Piccadilly. I'm not saying it has to be pretty, but he had to get the wins. He got it. Losing to Brighton, had we beaten Brighton, bro, we wouldn't be talking about this. But we didn't. Even if we got a draw, it would have been better. But we lost. 3 losses in 7 games is relegation fodder, whether you like it or not. So I then came out to say, Tottenham have to win the next 10 games in order for this brother to keep his job. Now, everyone's saying, they draw a madman. Oh, how can you say that? It's unrealistic. It's this and that. No, you set challenges, bro. Challenge number 1 he's got 9 more games to win. And it includes Man City. Because if Tottenham is the team that I see them finishing top 3 or 4, we have to go on our own. We have to. If we don't beat a top 6 side, whether it be City or Chelsea, where are we going? Or Villa, where are we going? So we have to. So I have to include Villa. Villa in 2 weeks' time have to get slapped by my club.
What about Palace? Palace do? Palace have to. What if the worst case scenario for you happen? I think this will be the worst case scenario for Tottenham, especially for you, knowing you. If you drew against Palace when they haven't won a single game in, it'll be 8 games, would you raise serious concerns about Postecoglou again after what you've seen from us and saying that you think we're going to get relegated?
I think no, because you guys are a good team and people respect you. I think though, if we lose to you, I want him out. I'm not having that crap. Do you know what I mean? Like a draw can happen on any given Sunday. It can happen, yeah. But to lose to you, brothers, get out my face. Get out.
Can you imagine be the first team to lose to Palace after they haven't won 8 games so far this season?
It would be a disgrace, bro. And that's the point I'm making. Then us losing to you will be simply down to one thing: management, game management. You could have made a change. You could have done this. Sometimes maybe Palace come motivated for the game. You're hurting from the Nottingham Forest game. So, you want to have a response. I get that. That's why the minimum that we can get this weekend at your gaff is a draw. Failing that, the brother needs to come out because that means Tottenham ain't serious then. I can't come on the 12th man or any other bloody stream and be talking with chest when really deep down my club is not about that life. That don't make no sense. Do you get me? And if we were to lose to you this weekend, that's me done.
Yeah.
That's me done.
That would be crazy. I don't really see that happening. I'll be honest. I don't really see that happening. Let's talk about score predictions. It was a different style of opposition preview. Normally we talk about your players and clubs, but this is a crisis talk right now. We're not here to talk about individual players or whatever. We spoke about managers, spoke about results. Let's talk about the weekend's result. What are you expecting? You have to be backing your boys. Come on. We haven't won in 8 games.
It don't. Yeah. You know what it is? It don't matter. I always find that the longer a team is on a kind of no-win run, the difficult the next game becomes because they become even more motivated. I mean, my kids' team played a team so-called bottom of the table. They lost every game. And my kids' team are top of the league, to be fair, and they could only win 4-3. It was their toughest match. So there's something about teams that lose and really wanting to make sure that the next game they get it right. Anyway, to cut a long story short, if Nketiah Catty starts, you're getting boxed that one day. It's light work. Eze's a madman. He will score some sort of idiot free kick from Spurs. You just don't have any firepower. Is Adam Wharton back? He's a baller.
Adam Wharton, he was on the bench. He didn't play. But the thing is, Decore could be back. And he was massive in the second half against Chelsea. He's a midfielder. I don't know if you remember him, but he was linked, a year ago anyways, before his injury to Liverpool for £70 million.
Yeah.
Decore, he might be back in midfield. And also, let's see, because there are serious...
Who's on the right wing for you?
God knows. I don't even know myself. Eze played down the right, even though he's never played down the right up until this game. Sarr could be playing there. Kamada could be playing there. That right-hand side is not worry. Saying that, though, Deji, I don't know what Palace side is going to turn up for the first time in a long time. Because genuinely, in this game, he has to make a change. He mentioned it. There's for the first time, there's talks about his job potentially being on the line. So I think he could make a change.
I think this game comes a little bit too early for you, man. And because of the uncertainty, you lot switching up the system. What's worked for you in the past has been Hodgson ball, you know. That little low block thing that you lot used to love to do used to piss me off. We always knew that a Tottenham Palace game was always 1-0. It was always a 1-0. Either you get a 1-0 or Tottenham get a 1-0 at Selhurst. I think with the way that he wants to play expansive football, I hope he stays true to his guns. If he does, you get slapped up by my club. No one plays football the way that we do.
I was going to ask, what do you think will work better for Palace based on what you've seen at Tottenham? Do you think a back 3 going into back 5 out possession and trying to hit you on the counter?
Yeah, you have to hit Spurs on the counter. You got to do a low block, back 3 into a back 5. Arsenal did that at one stage. They had bloody back 6. You literally have to give up. You literally have to give up your citizenship. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, give up your citizenship and allow Tottenham to play and hope that someone on the other side has your passport. Do you get what I'm saying? And you get the job done. That's what you're going to need to do. Without that, it could be long. I see Tottenham. If Tottenham treat you with respect and we turn up with we say, you know what, let's respect Palace. You man could get lamped, bro.
Like what?
We're talking 3, 4, 5 this weekend. 3, 4, 5.
Nil?
Yeah.
I mean, we've only scored 5 goals in 8 games as well, by the way.
Yeah, nil. There's no firepower. Eze might score a jammy free kick like he did last year at my gaff. But yeah, I think at my gaff, was it what 3 or 4-1 the last game?
Yeah. But that was Glasner's like.
First game. Yeah, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. 3, 4s or 5s coming your way, literally.
What would you do then if? I mean, it's not gonna happen, but Nketiah scored 90th minute winner, and Palace won 1-0, and it's our first win of the season, what would you actually do? I'm just curious.
Do you want me to say what I really would do, or should I say what is politically correct on YouTube so I don't get arrested?
Say what is politically correct for now.
If Tottenham was to lose by, the fact that Nketiah is scoring the winner, that would kill me. I swear, Dad. That will finish me. I'll be done for. Me, I think I would disable my YouTube first and foremost. You might never see me again. The next time you might see me is by mistake in central London somewhere, but this time my hair has grown all over my eyes. I'm wearing one of them grey scruffy jackets, and there's a weird stench coming from my armpits. Do you know, like that? Like, I'd be on the streets if Nketiah scored a winner against my club in the 90th minute. But I'd be saying Postecoglou out. Jokes aside, out.
Nketiah scored.
Yeah, out. Bro, do you know what it is, yeah? And I saw a comment in one of the WhatsApp groups that I'm in. Someone said, you're talking about trusting the process and managers needing time to build. Slot don't need no time to build. I know Liverpool laid a solid foundation, but you know what? He's getting the thing done. He's slapping up who we should be slapping up. And I look at the Tottenham team and I think that team is not bad, you know. Yeah, so that's why I rate Postecoglou, because I'm thinking, well, like, really and truly, Tottenham can, apart from City, I don't see why we can't get a result against any side. We showed domination in the location without penetration against Arsenal, but we were the better team. Everyone knows it. Don't lie to yourself. Even Gunnar Lee, don't lie to yourself. Don't do the Stevie Wonder and the Ray Charles thing. So if we were to play Liverpool, I think we go toe-to-toe with Liverpool straight. We're not going to sit back for them. I think you see Liverpool get boxed by my club. What, Villa's getting slapped up by my club. What, Chelsea, they're getting slapped up by my club. So I can't see many teams that can stop my club. To lose to Palace is a
and not just to lose to Palace,
I'm on your channel, yeah? But
8 games.
Losing to you lot is like losing to Bournemouth.
I think it's worse.
It shouldn't happen.
I think it's worse because we haven't won a game in 8. We've only scored 5 goals. That would mean it will be 6 goals at least in 9 games, and it would be a win against Tottenham. But then again, you know the Spursy thing that people talk about. Tottenham.
I think the Spursy thing is Arsenal's more Spursy than Spurs, first and foremost. When you watch them closely, them man move Spursy.
Yeah, they do. They kind of hide behind it. That's the thing. They kind of deflect it onto you lot.
You know what I'm saying? They are Spursy. Tottenham, we've been unlucky, I would say. But I saw a shift in my manager. Postecoglou 2 weeks ago, 1-0 against West Ham. Madders having a stinker, keeps the same lineup. This weekend, Madders came off at half time. That indicates a shift in mindset. I believe if Tottenham are struggling against Palace on the weekend, where he wouldn't have made a change, he makes an earlier change. The one thing I don't want to see, though, I won't lie to you, is Timo Werner. I never want to see that brother again. If I saw him in the supermarket, I wouldn't look at him. You know, like that.
No. Can I get a photo or anything?
No. Bro, I wouldn't even acknowledge that he's in there. You know what I mean? I was just moved.
He won't be starting though, would he?
I hope not. The positive thing as well, I think we miss Son so much. Even though Son is not on form, he brings something.
He always scores against Palace. He's scoring against us.
He's just
it's 1-0 down.
He has a je ne sais quoi that quality. He's just quality regardless, even if he's having a bad run. So the fact that Son's back, we've got our back four, we've got our midfield. Like, we don't really have any major injuries. Our major injury was Richarlison. He's back. Odegaard should be coming back any day now. Yeah, it's long. It's long for you, man. It's long.
It's not looking good, man. It's not looking good. But look, people, we're going to wrap up here. As always, make sure to check out Deji's channel. The link will be in the description down below and also in the title as well. So make sure to click on that and subscribe. But yeah, Crystal Palace right now, as of right now, are one of the teams.
Before we go, though, you got to give your prediction, my bro.
Oh. I'm thinking 2-0 Spurs.
Yeah,
2-0
respect.
Spurs.
Respect.
Yeah, 2-0 Spurs. There's no point in hiding.
But he shouldn't lose his job, even though
He wouldn't lose his job because of this game.
Not to lose the Spurs. I mean, you got to respect that.
Yeah, you got to come on. He's a big side. He's a big side.
Yeah.
Massive ground, great training facilities. You know, aiming for glory. Glory. So, you know, losing to Spurs is not something he will get sacked of. But that depends on the result. If it's 5-0, I mean, we haven't had a 5-0 so far this season after losing 1-0 to Forest, then his job could be on the line. But yeah, we'll see. I think it's already 1-0 to Spurs even before the game's kicked off. I think like the player should go for another kickoff because Son has scored a goal.
I need the win because I'm expecting come the time we do Potts' show on Sunday, and I know you said you're not going to be there.
Yeah.
But I'm expecting to be having conversation with Potts and Lee, saying that, well, after all your shaking of bums, after all the kind of hot air, you get me the hot air balloon, you man are only 1 point ahead of Spurs. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. So it's a massive game for you lot, massive game for Palace, but there's no real expectations until something changes. Whether that's player system, then yeah, for now, absolutely nothing. But as I've said, people, make sure to check out Deji's channel. That's it from Deji and I. And until next time, up the Palace.